Here's why I'm still buying Quant and why I do still stand by the fact that I believe that $2,000 is my absolute worst case price target scenario for Quant during the peak of this bull run. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee. But here's the thing. For whatever reason, people, they like to FOMO into something like Bitcoin. They like to FOMO into something like Ethereum, BNB. But in my opinion, these are very dinosaur projects. Now, before you get it, twisted, right? Here's the thing. BNB, as of right now, market cap is around $90 billion. Could it do a 10x from here during the peak of this bull run? I think absolutely not. Of course, not financial advice. Now, Ethereum, market cap over $350 billion. Could that do a 10x from here during the peak of this bull run? I don't think so. Now, you take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin market cap is around $1.2 trillion as of right now. Could it do a 10x? In the long term, yeah, I do believe it could do that. I believe it could actually do a lot more than a 10x, especially in the very long term. But here's the thing. When we're taking a look at during the peak of this bull run, I don't think Bitcoin can do a 10x from here in the short term, right? In the long term, I do believe it could do better than that. But here's the thing. When it comes to Quant, if Quant were to go to the price of $2,000, considering its current circulating supply, right? It would have a market cap at that point of around $24 billion. And that, by the way, is over a 17x from here. So keep in mind, right, what's more likely to, let's say, do even over a 15x during this bull run? BNB, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Quant? I think there's only one that stands out, and I think that is Quant. Now, a lot of people out there, they like to give me flack, right, for, kind of talking about Bitcoin and saying how I don't own any Bitcoin. People think it's crazy. But here's the thing. Why would I own Bitcoin if there's something like Quant? Quant, it's far more rare than Bitcoin. Let's face it. Bitcoin maximum supply is 21 million. Now, I understand that a lot of people who held Bitcoin very early on, many of them, are holding, right, currently millions of dollars of Bitcoin, but they can't even access it, right? A lot of them, some cases forgot their password or whatever the case may be. So when it comes to the maximum supply of 21 million, the numbers that are actually available, in my opinion, it's actually not as much as some people may think, even though 21 million is already very rare. But when you take a look at Quant, it's even more rare because maximum supply, it's around 14.6 million. So when you really think about it, Quant, it's not only more rare than Bitcoin, but its use case is a lot better because when you take a look at Quant, it's just a lot more revolutionary. For instance, it can be used for enterprise licenses, developer licenses, gateways and staking, application users, transaction processing. So yeah, the use case is very diverse. Now, Bitcoin, the primary use case that people are often arguing for Bitcoin is that it's an amazing store of value. But if people are looking beyond something that's just a store of value, then Bitcoin, it kind of begins to fall apart ever since then, right? Now, something like Quant steps in because Quant, again, much better use case in my opinion, much more diverse use case. I'm not saying that Bitcoin has a terrible use case. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying Quant is better. Also on top of that, again, Quant is far more rare. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Quant, the special thing about it is the Quant network. And when you take a look at the Quant network, it's made up of the Overledger OS and the Overledger network. Now, the Overledger OS allows something called a multi-chain application to be built, which is an application that is built on top of multiple blockchains instead of just one. So let's say, right, I want to take advantage of the Overledger OS and I want to build an application that, let's say, uses the speed of the Stellar blockchain, but at the same time taking advantage of the amazing security of the Bitcoin blockchain. I could do that, right? That's how amazing it is. I don't have to be stuck, let's say, building on only just one blockchain. That's a thing of the past. Of course, through the Overledger OS. Now, the Overledger network, it's made up of the Overledger OS users, and on that, right, they can share their data, their apps, their resources, and of course, monetize them. So that's amazing if you ask me. The Quant network, man, is changing the game in my opinion. And now some people out there, they may be thinking that, oh yeah, okay, but Quant, it's not going to become the number one project out there. It doesn't have to be to achieve success. You got to take this into consideration, right? When I was watching the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix, which is very funny, by the way, I think it's a very good, comedy bit, whatever, on Netflix. But yeah, even besides that point, Kevin Hart, he was hosting the event, the show. But there were a lot of comedians out there. Now, a lot of the comedians out there, they were nowhere near as successful as Kevin Hart in terms of, fame, popularity, but they didn't have to be. I mean, you take a look at Tony Hinchcliffe. He's very funny, but he's not as popular as Kevin Hart. You take a look at Andrew Schultz. He's not as famous as, Kevin Hart, but, these comedians, they're already considered very successful. So in the world of crypto projects, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be the number one project out there to achieve success. Just being decent is already very good in my opinion. And I do believe that Quant has the potential to be a decent project because $5,000 is actually my best case price target scenario for Quant. And even if Quant were to go to the price of $5,000, which some people may think is crazy, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $60 billion, which really isn't all that much to ask for. I mean, we've seen Doge go to around 88 billion, right? We're even seeing BNB right now, nowhere near being as revolutionary as Quant, reach around $90 billion in market cap. And this is not back in 2021. Again, right, this is right here, right now. So I do believe that Quant, man, it has such amazing potential, hypothetically speaking. Currently, more institutional investors than ever before, more enterprise adoption than ever before, and more cryptocurrency owners than ever before as well. According to Crypto.com research, nearly 600 million to be exact as of right now. So yeah, this bull run, it could be insane. As to how soon this will all happen, now historically speaking, altcoins, they've peaked anywhere between 6 to 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. The Bitcoin halving event, for those who are in the know, they'll understand that it did happen back in April, which of course is last month. Now, 6 to 18 months from April, that would be best case scenario October of this year. Now, worst case would be, of course, October of 2025, but even if it's, let's say, a worst case scenario, October of 2025, I don't see why it's a bad thing. More time for me to accumulate and dollar cost average into Quant. Now, 6 months from now, I wouldn't mind. 18 months around from right now, I wouldn't mind either. I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into Quant. I think it's amazing. And I think it's absolutely wonderful if you ask me. Quant at $5,000, my most bullish case scenario. $2,000 is my absolute worst case scenario. At least that's the way I view it. I think Quant is that special. And of course, that's for the peak of the bull run, which again could happen potentially in the very near future. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm not saying the next week. I'm saying during the peak of this bull run. I don't see why not. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also on top of that, make sure to check out this very fantastic video. I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.